Okay, wow, I've been waiting for this.
Yes, so we, so
Okay,
we.
great. Yeah, so the story begins with the time that Paul came to Zambia to introduce the business in Zambia. And the first time when she did the presentation, I didn't really fall in love with it because most of the people that were doing network marketing, they did not impress me. Am I loud enough?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, because I was thinking network marketing is basically for the people who have nothing to do, who are not educated, and they just have to buy and sell, because that's what I really saw. A lot of people, when they were doing network marketing, they would get all the products in the boot of their cars, and then they'll come to sell to me. So I was like, oh, it's people who've got time on their hands. And so I had a little of an attitude there. So I was also one of the presenters in that meeting where the High Commissioner from South Africa hosted us. And so the presentation went on, and I did not hear anything. But then later on, there was an issue with my own daughter who had very bad acne. Okay, and then of course from there, I would now got to hear about luminous range, and especially the serum. I started using the serum, and guess what? Within a week, the acne cleared, because it was actually bringing low self-esteem, and it was affecting at university. She's at Monash University in South Africa, and that's where I bought in. And so from there, I began running, because I then realized that if these products can actually, change my daughter's face, and this is really what is in it, it is something that just sought to me. By that time, I hadn't yet understood network marketing, because just previously I was more into coaching. I'm a business coach, relationship coach, and just helping basically, women. I began first to help women to become captains of industry. Because I realized that if you are not coached, if you're not mentored in business, you are just going to, realize very little profit. So I began to groom and nurture a number of people to get themselves into doing great businesses. So then when I got onto Jeunesse, I began to see that this business is totally different. It's actually me who was ignorant about network marketing, because I think I misinterpreted that it's for people who have nothing to do. It's actually people who are serious. So of course, then I got on board, and seriously, when I start something and I believe in something, I run. One thing that I saw was that Paul would come after a month to Zambia, so everybody will be waiting. Every week we are waiting until Paul has to come following month to come and do a presentation. I listened to her this time with more, respect and attention. And then I said, you know what, I can do this presentation. Why should we wait until a month for her to fly down 2 hours to come and talk to us? And boom, within 2 months, because I joined in September, I told him, Paul, in November that don't come in December, because I want to do the presentation, because I've got it. I'm going to do it. And so from December, I went crazy, like putting up workshops 2, 3, 4 times per week, because I needed people to understand. I realized people did not understand, because after 2 hours, Paul has to go back home. And so they had questions. So I said, you know what, if we've got to really change, this part of Africa in Zambia, especially the compensation plan. I love the compensation plan. And that's where I started leaning in more. So from there, I began to actually talk to different people and started enrolling like crazy. And I became a Sapphire, I think after 3 months, I became a Sapphire. And so I began just to go crazy, because now I'm earning, I'm cycling. And so I'm telling people, look, this thing is real. Remember, they are founder packs. So every person you get $250 gets in. And then, you know, we've got pollution cards, and I'm just waving it to the people. Look, this thing, someone enters in, you've got $250. Then apart from that, it's $35. You're going to cycle. And I just went crazy, whether I understood or I didn't understand. I was just doing it. Now you realize that this part of Africa, we just, you know, rising up, you know, in terms of the issue of our economy. So I realized that this is going to speak into our nation, because our nation is getting into building itself in the area of the economy. That's how come, even for the launch, I had to talk to the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, because then I knew that if we can get the government on our side in the area of empowerment and changing the economy of our land, we are going to shoot sky high. And the conversations I began to have with her, you know, allowed me, you know, to actually even take the business to another level, because by the time she was coming to launch Jeunesse on the 22nd of April, we were crazy. We filled up. I hired a hall that needed to seat 1,000 people. And we went crazy in advertising. Basically, yes, there's health products, there's beauty products, powerful. We've got very, very powerful products. But you see, we had to see the need in the nation. The need in the nation was more economic empowerment. And so that's what we went on loud. You know, we went on radio, on TV, on Facebook to talk about how the compensation plan for this company is just so crazy. And you'll be amazed. I think you need to actually get the video of what the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Ms. Margaret Manakatwe, spoke during the launch. I think when her voice just resounded and endorsed Jeunesse on the empowerment aspect, we were set to rock and roll. The good news is that she is also a distributor, you know, and you know, getting a Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry to become a distributor in Jeunesse. She's my second generation, and it's just so crazy. And so from that time, we did not, you know, rest. We began to have meetings in the morning. Zambia is a Christian nation. I'm sure you know that. So we have prayers that take place, you know, early in the morning before people go to work, they are praying. So we started penetrating those places. Early in the morning when they're doing prayers, we ask for 5-10 minutes to say, look, Pastor, you know, people are going to give more offerings if they learn how to create wealth. We've got this. We're going to just give a short presentation, but if they want to listen more, they can come on Saturday. And this is Tuesday. So we pitch quickly in that meeting. We would go for lunch hour fellowships. There is a lot of prayers going on. People would leave work to go for 30 minutes to just listen to somebody preach and all that. So we took advantage of the already, you know, existing gatherings, you know, that are ongoing. And we just get to the leadership, you know, to get permission, and we went crazy. Throughout, that's how come within 2 months we're able to get about 10 sapphires, because we just did not rest. So it was in the morning, it was over lunch, it was those who are knocking off. So if you can make it, you can't make it in the morning, you will make it in the afternoon over lunch. If you won't make it in the afternoon over lunch, you will make it when you knock off. So we just went so crazy to ensure that we have these workshops, and they were tailored to actually help people understand the health concepts and the Luminous range. I mean, we've got the top-notch, you know, products. So we had a lot of testimonies, you know, like my own sister-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. You know, she was bedridden, and how within 3 weeks, she got up from bed, you know, and she was able to, you know, make her own cup of tea, which shocked the doctors because they had prepared her, you know, for death. You know, like, you know, she was going to die because they had taken out the uterus and everything. When she began to take the reserve, things just changed. So that was another point of testimony, you know, for all of us in the family. And, you know, you have no idea, I've been like a crazy woman, because it's testimonies on my daughter, testimonies, my sister-in-law, testimonies, my brother was diabetic and no longer on insulin and all that. Crazy. And that's what gave me the energy. I needed to actually raise more leaders because I knew we needed to just hit it. So when the leaders got on understanding, you know, the products too, understanding how to pitch, understanding how to do the compensation plan, then I started now doing some handover, you know, where someone does the products, the other person does the compensation plan, because I knew after Zambia, I need to move on to other nations. We're a landlocked country, blessed with different nations around. And I already had a goal to say the moment the Shoot for Sapphire finishes, pass on the baton, we remain training, you know, the people that have come on board, just helping them to understand the back office, understand the authorship and everything. So I've got trainers, you know, leaders who are sapphires, who are pearls, trainings like twice per week. There are trainings that are taking place for people to understand back office, because we realize that if you don't understand your business, you won't run. And if somebody has enrolled and has become Sapphire, but they don't understand how the products work, they are going to just shut down at Sapphire there. So we've got people that are ready to teach. And so you can imagine twice per week, we have meetings in Zambia. And I'm not the one who's doing those trainings. Other leaders have arisen and they are running those meetings. Guess what I've said to do to go into other nations? The past 3 weeks, I've gone to Malawi with Impo. Great upline I have. Amazing young woman who's vibrant. She came along to Malawi. She has no prospect there. They are all my prospects. They're all my distributors. But she came there to give me support. And she had to pay for herself. We had to share the bill for the accommodation just to give me a push, because she wants me to go Sapphire Elite, and I need to. Again, we set out to go to Tanzania, another neighboring country, about, you know, a 2 hours flight. Again, she flew there using her own money. She has no prospect, she has no distributor, just to come and give me a push. What a great leader. What a great upline. Amazing. Guess what, where we are tomorrow? I'm getting on a flight at 6 p.m. going to Rwanda, another nation that has got founder packs. And when I go there, I'm representing my other distributors in Zambia who can't manage, because we can't offline. So we are getting together, make contributions, and I go and be a voice there. And each distributor maybe has got 5 prospects, 10 prospects and everything, and we're gonna go hot. Wednesday, it's another staging of Rwanda. So I'm moving from country to country, all the neighboring countries. We're going to just preach Jeunesse with my distributors, with my leaders in Zambia and all that. And then we're going now to start doing trainings, now back office trainings. For now, I'm just marketing. Marketing, enrolling. Then we'll start training them now to understand the products.
Dr. Nellie.
Oh, we're crazy.
Dr. Nellie. I've got to interrupt because it's very important, because time is a commitment, but I need to ask you a couple of questions. And I've said to everyone on this call, you're a fire starter, and you've said a couple of things before I asked the questions. You talked about traveling. I absolutely agree with you. And the great thing is you have an appreciative audience that really respects that. Very much like yourself, I've done about, I think, 26 trips to different countries at my own cost, because it's an important part for people to understand this is a business, and from profits that we invest in them. That's what Mpo's been doing with you. The question I have for you is this. First of all, wonderful. I mean, it gets me fired up listening to you, and I can't wait to come to Africa. Is people have this big challenge in their minds. It's a perception that they've got about price. And you mentioned here very quickly that you're promoting and getting people on board with the Founders Pack. So I want you to explain to people on this course that they get it in their minds. Price has got nothing to do with wealth creation. I want you to tell people how it is that you approach people and why you've had no challenges talking about price of product and the price of running your own business.
Okay, first and foremost, you've got to understand that this part of Africa, we are a cash economy. We don't even have credit cards.
Right.
So whatever you have, if you've got to buy a loaf of bread, you need cash and all. So when we saw this opportunity, Okay, you realize that this is an opportunity where you invest. You know, you have to invest for Founders Pack here in Zambia because of customs about $2,000. And so you've got to start looking around other things that you've been doing and raise the money, because this is a profitable investment. And because it's a profitable investment, the capital is very little compared to turnover. And so if you don't have now, you look at what other things that you are doing, and these are things that we've been educating people. What other businesses are you doing? What other things are you doing? So you need to collect $200 from there, $100 from there to invest in this business that will create a turnover. Remember, we are a cash economy, so we have no credit cards. You've got to find cash. And Zambia has no founder packs because we staged it, strategized on how to invest into this great business, which has got great turnover. I've never seen, even in the bank, you can never put $2,000 now and get such investment, because you get the products. And you know what we're doing? When you get the products, we sell them and get your money back.
Okay, so let's just make sure. I mean, you know, I'm so glad, and I want you on the next few calls, because we get people bleating like sheep. Oh, $200 is a lot of money to come into the business. Oh, the serum is too expensive. And I'm so happy you're on this call, because really it reminds people they need a checkup from the neck up. Price has got nothing to do with it. If you pitch it right and people can see the vision, they can believe in the vision. You've got a minister, the Minister of Trade and Commerce of Zambia, who's in a second level to you. You've gone out into a country that's got no credit cards. The economy is nowhere where it should be. And I'd like you to share with people, if you compare a serum right now, one serum, in comparison to anywhere else, for the price of a serum, how does that compare to an average working man's wage? Just share that with everybody, please.
You know, you see that the salaries are quite low. Okay, but when you look at what the serum does compared to, you know, what you are earning and what you are trying to keep, or it's something that you have to just go for, because what that bottle of serum does, you can never compare to the price. No, you can't. And so it is something you've got to be willing, because it's a product that is authentic. It's a product that will do what it's supposed to do. And therefore, even when you spend and you put in the money, you know that you are actually doing the right thing because it's authentic. And it is something that is going to bring back what you've invested in it. Yeah.
Dr. Nellie, thank you very, very much. I could spend at least another half an hour with you, and you're not going to get away, because we've now found a way to get you online and your internet's working, because we normally were under the impression with one of the ladies that came on that someone's cycling with a dynamo, because every few minutes people coming in and out. And, you know, I want to remind everybody online right now that in Zambia, the internet's nowhere near the speeds that we've got in the West. So first of all, profoundly thank you very much for joining us, and I hope it's inspired and motivated a lot of people online to understand price has nothing to do with it, and if it is to be, it's up to me. And I love the passion and the vision that you're putting across to people. You've just mentioned that most people in